Hello viewers, Will Underwood from The Huddle here with Fellipe Fraga, CBO at EstrelaBet. Fellipe, thanks for joining us here in SBC Lisbon today.
No, that's amazing. Thank you very much.
We're going to talk a bit about Brazil. The first question I want to ask is, in your opinion, do you think that any new cultural touch points have been kind of unearthed by the regulation of Brazilian market for the wider LatAm region?
Yeah, the regulation in Brazil helped to push further the sector in Latin America. Of course, Brazil is, if you consider only geography, Brazil is more than half of the size of Latin America, and most of the population, despite we speak a different language of other countries. But anyway, it was fun to see how it changed, even in the conference. When we talked about Latin America before, we we're talking about Argentina, Peru, Colombia, and now every time it's Brazil, Brazil, Brazil. And it helped to change the culture in general in Latin America, how we are playing the games and we are having fun with casino, especially when we talk about crash games. Brazil leads the movement and the people start to play faster games. And it was very interesting, especially now with the regulated market. It's becoming day by day a better place too.
What do you feel now that we're 9 months in from the regulation, or thereabouts? What do you feel has become the biggest sort of headaches for overseas operators? What do you think is challenging them in Brazil at the moment?
Yeah, this first 9 months of regulation, it's been challengeable. First, because we had the situation that the raise of the taxes. We were not expecting this too early at last, and we're still trying to explain to our representatives how it's not good for not only for the sector, but also for the country. Since a lot of companies may not survive enough, and what they are acquiring or the government are getting as taxes will be not the same. It happens in Italy, it happens in Netherlands, and it probably will happen in Brazil. But overseas operators, the first thing they are struggling is to understand the Brazilian mind, how the behavior of Brazilians, and it's for us as a Brazilian operator, it's a kind of a good advantage. But anyway, they have all the conditions and money to do, and the movement I'm seeing is that overseas operators, the big guys here of Europe, they are getting good people in Brazil to work. So after like 5, 6, 7 years of regulated legal market in Brazil. Now, regulated is 90 months, but legal market is 7 years already. A lot of people learn how to work in this industry, learn the process, and we Brazilians will have a situation that we learn faster, because we must solve problems in a different way, and it's very good. So the overseas companies are solving these problems using Brazilian people.
I know a problem that's not unique to Brazil, but something that seems to be very concerning for especially the general population is a youth exposure with gambling. Where is the nation at with regards to regulation in that area, and how do you see that kind of progressing in the coming sort of months and years?
Yeah, the advance of social networks, in the end of the day, helped to expose to young people about gambling, and it's something that I try to balance and try to learn, not only about social networks and also about sponsorships and everything else. For example, now EstrelaBet does not expose a brand in an under 20s shirt, because we have always a risk of more than 1 or 2, 3 guys that under 18 was wearing a brand. We do not do this. Also with influencers, depending on the strategy of this influencer or affiliate or something, if it's a guy with a lot of followers, your followers, we decided to not use this character as our partner. There is a concern. The regulator is talking about this, how we can talk about, how we can explain, and especially with education and communication in the TV, the institutes, associations are doing a lot of good job about this, and showing that gambling, betting, this entertainment of casino is for adults, for people that work and for leisure, not for investments or nothing like this. So what we can say for young people is, do not gamble. Go play video games. It's much better for you. And when you grow up, become adult, become responsible, it will be very welcome to play with us.
Do you feel that maybe one key advantage that local homegrown operators such as yourself could have is that open communication that you mentioned there with the regulator? Do you think that could be a key differentiating factor for success for local operators?
Yeah, I'm not think that can be a good advantage, to be honest, because the big guys, I would say this expression, big guys or operators overseas, they are already working with regulated markets for many years. So they have already departments specialized on this. I have many friends that are working with many companies that are used to sit with regulators in many countries of the globe. Of course, Brazil is different. Each country is different each other. Brazil, especially since they, as I say, they are only Portuguese speaker in Latin America, a different culture, and the politicians are different as well. We must understand the process, but they are doing well in this part of bureaucracy. But in another way, we know the politicians for so long, even before the legalization, even before we work. I especially I am as a lawyer, I know, and I really like politics. So when I met someone else, one senator that helps a lot the sector because he understood the sector, is here in the show. I had a brief conversation with him this morning. I know him, so I know his culture, the state he's representing. I know how he can help us being a representative of also of the sector with his colleagues explain the industry. So the most important thing is how we can join forces. So there's the associations, and I can say the associations we are part of, IBJR, Instituto Brasileiro de Jogo Responsável, is very important because we mix both sides, the Brazilian ones and the overseas ones. So we sit together with the government and explain, try to educate and try to get the market better.
This is my final question. We all know, the excitement and the potential around the Brazilian market. I think it's very well established. I'm interested to know what, in your opinion, is like the biggest challenge now that's being faced for the sort of progression of the market.
The biggest market undoubtedly is the illegal market. Is a situation every country regulated market suffers. Of course, the guys will try to do illegal all the time, but in Brazil especially, I believe we have the ways to block illegal market, considering that PIX is the payment method for 99% of the transactions, and since it passed through the central bank control, you can block the gateway, you can block the banks, and everyone is allowing to do transactions for using PIX for these illegal operations. Considering this point, if we get to block the illegal marketing, I'm 100% sure that Brazil will earn more money as taxes with legal, because it's cultural. Brazilians like to gamble, like to play, and it's healthy. With, of course, responsibility is healthy, and the regulated companies, legal operators can help the country a lot. Controlling responsible gaming, against match fixing, against anti-money, with anti-money laundering policies. We have this control because the regulation talks about it, and illegal market don't. So, if we fight the illegal marketing, that's now our big challenge. We try to convince and explain to government representatives to create strategies to all together, the gov, society, and us as industry to fight against those guys and help out the country and guarantee that our industry in Brazil will become sustainable.
Perfect. Fellipe, thanks very much for your time today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.